From the mountains high, a river flows, a lifeline for the land, a natural pose. But greed has taken hold, the bitter stain. Rio Cobre crying, calling out in pain. Rio Cobre running, but it's red with shame.
Good evening and welcome to Rio Cobre Runnings. My name is Kestonard Gordon and I'm here presenting to you a number of incidents that have been plaguing the Rio Cobre. The objective of this channel is to provide you with updates and to provide you with information pertaining to the developments in regards to the pollution incidents that have been occurring in the Rio Cobre Basin. Now, as you would have known, those of you who would have been following the news over in recent years, that the Rio Cobre River, which is a very vital river in Jamaica, contributes to as a source of water for approximately 700,000 persons. It's a source of water for Spanish Town, it's a source of water for Portmore, it's a source of water for sections of Kingston. In addition to that, and along the banks of the Rio Cobre, several communities exist. And these communities have relied on the Rio Cobre for generations as a source of income. It provides a source of water for their agricultural products. It provides a source of water for their entertainment. It's a source of water for their domestic purposes. And recreational purposes also is very important to these communities. Now, on the banks of the Rio Cobre, there are several companies, several corporate entities that exist. And from time to time, these corporate entities have been discovered to have violated the principles pertaining to their safeguarding their effluents on their own premises. And the cheapest way out for them is to release their effluent into the Rio Cobre. Now this is aided and abetting by complacency on behalf of a number of state agencies. Firstly, you have NEPA, which is the National Environment and Planning Agency, who they are basically the police of the environment. If you have a complaint in regards to the environment, you don't go to the average police station in Jamaica. You would call NEPA and they would do an investigation. If an entity is going to be set up, NEPA is the one who examines their operation and grants them their permit to operate. Now these permits have guidelines in terms of what they can do and what they should do. The permit also allows NEPA to rescind or to serve them with enforcement orders to terminate their operation or to suspend their operations, to allow them to conform to the principles of their operational permit. Now, the communities in the Rio Cobre Basin, as I mentioned before, they have been subjected to this immense type of pollution over the years. And chief among them is the effluent that is released in the river on an annual basis from the operations of a nearby bauxite mining company. There are also other entities, agricultural and domestic or corporate entities that manufacture along the coastline of the Rio Cobre. Their contamination, of course, is also a source of nuisance to the communities and to the river, because quite often it results in fish kills. But the primary and the most deadly of all the pollutants in the river is that which comes from the bauxite companies. The objective of this exercise, we're going to be bringing you a series of events, series of occurrences. Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't expect everything to be perfect. I am trying to respond to the demand for information pertaining to the environment, and I've been asked to ensure that the communities that are connected, that are suffering, they benefit from this type of educational output. Now, in the fight against pollution, I can't do it alone. And the fight is not for me alone. This fight is on the behalf of the citizens of St. Catherine and also the country of Jamaica at large. I came face on with this pollution incident in October of 2019. I was on my way to my farm. I have a farm in Linstead, in the Linstead area. And when I reached Kent Village, there was this tremendous uproar, the blockage of the road. Hundreds of citizens, they poured a lot of fishes on the road and old fridges, and you name it. And the road was blocked both sides. I appealed to them to remove the roadblocks, given the fact that I heard an ambulance coming in the distance. When the ambulance drove up, it could not pass. So I asked them to release the roadblocks and allow the ambulance to go through. They demanded to know who I was. I identified myself as a vice chairman for the St. Catherine Parish Development Committee, and I gave them the assurance that were they to comply with my request, then I would try my best to bring their cases forward and to advocate on their behalf. They complied. They removed the stuff out the road. The ambulance went through. And I really respected what the people do. They didn't know who the person in the ambulance was, but they value that they place on the life of that person in the ambulance resonated with me, and I really respect what the people have done. They took me to the side of the road and they briefed me on what was happening, and I gave them the assurance that I would try my best. So I called the members of the media, I called the representatives, the political representatives for the area, and that was when my advocacy has started. Since then, it has led to my having to take several measures to organize the people, because there was absolutely no organization where they were concerned. So I had to set up, first I set up a very huge WhatsApp group, because I wanted everybody to be in on when the pollutions occur. So right along from Yuatan, coming straight down to Bagwalk, Linstead, Bagwalk, down into Portmore, I created a WhatsApp group, and so that each person could have an input in policing the river. Next thing, I had to organize them to get them registered as fishers, licensed fisher folk. So I invited the Fisheries Authority of Jamaica, and they came to Bagwalk on 2 occasions where they licensed these fishermen and fisherwomen to give them a level of official recognition and to the system of governance, indicating that they were willing to play their part in terms of being licensed, because they had to pay a fee to do so. And since then, the court cases have begun, and I follow up with the court cases to keep them informed in terms of what has been happening, and also in addition to the several other pollutions that have occurred during that time. The people are resolute. They are committed to the process to fight for their rights. They have participated in several demonstrations against Windalco, demonstrations against trade wind citrus, demonstrations against CEPROD, and quite a few other demonstrations just to register their protest at these corporate entities' behavior in how they treat the environment. So the primary objective of this channel is to update you on what is happening and how certain things are turning, and also to educate you on how the environment operates. So from time to time, I will be asking experts to come in to give you a presentation or an interview as to how the ecosystem in the river functions, the impact of the pollution and the various contaminants in the water, and how they contribute to the demise of the fishes and the life of the river. We are open and we are asking you to support this channel. It is a worthwhile event, and we're asking you to subscribe and to share and to submit your questions and your suggestions as how we can improve this very, very valuable channel. It is of concern owing to the fact that Jamaica currently is number 72 on the International Environmental Index. We were 66 up to about, say, 5-6 years ago, and currently our status has fallen to number 72. Now, when you look on the Environment Performance Index internationally, you will see that the leading countries, or the top 10, are European countries. And if you look, you will also notice that Rwanda is the number 1 in Africa. And Rwanda is coming from way down, and they can be now regarded as the cleanest country in Africa. Now, Jamaica can do better. The scant regard that we have for our environment must be eradicated, and every single Jamaican must participate in cleaning up your own space and assisting your neighbor, advising your neighbor, encouraging your neighbor to do the same in relation to their space. We cannot afford to continue just tossing our garbage around, or our plastic bottles and our paper all around, and expect to improve in relation to our tourism product. We have to have a good product, firstly, for the citizens, because without a clean environment, our health is compromised. And the slightest disease that could be controlled with or eradicated from day one in a clean environment creates a lot of problem for all of us when we do not pay regard for cleanliness, love for our environment, and to ensure that our environment, our economy can be developed and at a balance with more regard and more respect for our environment. We are asking you to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Share it with your neighbors, share it with your friends, your co-workers, those people those of us who rely on or who reside in the diaspora. Share it with them and keep them abreast of what is happening. I've had several interests coming from persons in the diaspora. They love Jamaica, land we love, and they have a genuine desire to ensuring that their country is a clean one. They're tired of hearing some of the negative things connected with Jamaica. They always embrace the positive. There are so many positive things about Jamaica. Jamaica is a wonderful country. It's a very beautiful country. right? When you look at the type of climate that we have all day round, people come here to have vacation, on business trips and so on. Jamaica is a beautiful country. We need to keep it that way, for not just for ourselves, but for our children, our children's children, and our visitors. Because it's very important, regardless of the economy that you reside in, you're going to need to take your vacation. You're going to rebuild and repurpose yourself. And Jamaica is the ideal and the #1 spot to visit. So we appeal to your support, and do not hesitate to subscribe, to share,